Hey, Intuitive Soul Tribe. Mel, Intuitive Soul Coach here, excited to bring to you today's collective reading. So welcome back to the channel if you are returning, and welcome if you are new. These are general readings. Please take what resonates and leave the rest behind. If you're interested in a personal reading, signing up for the monthly newsletter, or entering into the free reading giveaway, you can find all of that information in the description box below your video. All right, welcome collective. The key theme for today's reading has to do with past life. So this could be karmic relationships, karmic patterns. This may be blockages or past life issues that are coming to the forefront at this time for you to deal with. So for those of you who do not have anything from the past coming in, or you feel good where you're not blocked, then this may not be your reading. But for those of you who are possibly even dealing with relationships that have to do with previous lifetimes or even setbacks in this lifetime, this is the reading for you, because it says this situation has a basis in one of your previous lifetimes. Ask your angels to help you remember, release, learn, and heal from your past experiences. And that's what we are going to dive into today. So past life is the main energy here, and the key themes surrounding it, we have memories, strength, messages, and you also have divine guidance here. So a lot of you have been praying, asking for support, connecting with your higher self, your guides, your higher power, whatever it is that you deem, God, goddess. I feel like you've been working on connecting, growing more, or becoming more aware of what that means specifically for you. Now, for some of you, you could be thinking a lot about the past. Some of you may even be having flashbacks. You have the memories card, and this does talk about reminiscing. Maybe that you're going back to times that felt easier than now. Some of you, if you've lost loved ones, this can be a difficult time for you. So you could be dreaming about loved ones. You could be remembering moments between the both of you. I also sense that for some of you, you could be leaving relationships, long-term, short-term. Some of you are moving on, and these are things that are coming up for you. Why? Because some of you, you've learned a lot. Maybe you've been with somebody for 20 years. Perhaps you've been in a career for the last 10, 15 years, and it's grown to become a piece of yourself. So sometimes when we navigate out of those situations, we have to learn who we are without that label, without that title, or without that job or that home or that person. So that's what I feel is coming through for a lot of you here. You could even be writing a memoir. You could be journaling more. This could be looking through old photo albums, old pictures. Some of you may even receive, it could be a Snapchat notification, or it could be memories that show up on your social media feed where it brings you back into a time when you were in that situation that may or may not have been challenging, or it may have been, a better memory. So some of you are fluctuating between both. Now, this is about good times, the good old days. You have the strength card here as well. So it's important for you to remember how far you've come. The strength card is all about you being stronger and feeling stronger, coming out of a situation that at times threatened to leave you broken, or at times maybe you even felt like you couldn't take another step forward. Some of you have hit a major rock bottom, and maybe your rock bottom hit you 10 years ago, 10 months ago, or even 10 days ago. But I feel like you have the strength to carry on, and it's not just you by yourself. That's why you have this divine guidance card, and you also received, I believe, the You Are Not Alone card here as well. So in this reading, we're going to talk about your perseverance, overcoming these obstacles. Some of you, it has to do with your health, with your weight, with your fitness, because it does have fitness at the strength here at the bottom. For others of you, it has to do with grieving, forgiving and letting go of maybe someone in the physical. Okay, someone could have crossed over. For others of you, you had to let go of a relationship and it was like a death to you. If it wasn't a physical death, it was emotional. For others of you, there's been a lot of loss, I sense, whether it's job loss, a loss of a home, a loss of a career, a title, a reputation. I just get that there's been a lot of hurdles that you've had to jump through. But look at this. I mean, wild horses, nothing can, hold them back. And I feel like you have this stamina that you didn't have before. Even if it feels like sometimes the best thing you can do is get out of bed and dress and try to move forward. I'm getting here that there's going to be a renewed sense. If you don't feel this yet, I feel like there's spiritual help coming in to lend you a little more momentum, a little more energy, and a little more determination. And I feel like you are taking the steps to do this for yourself, and you're going to see that help shows up in all areas, because I get receiving help is important here. Now you have the message card as well. Some of you could get an incoming message. I'm getting here even within the next 10 days. So this is quite significant, and these are timeless readings. So there could be a message coming in. It could be a card in the mail. For some of you, it's an email. It could be a text. It could be a phone call. Whatever it is here, I feel like there is important communication that's actually going to shift some sort of stagnancy or an energy of prolonging the inevitable, or there's just a message or some sort of communication it's going to clear the air in a sense. This could be a new truth. It could be some sort of acceptance. It could be an understanding. Maybe it has to do with a legal situation here as well. So I feel like this is good because it's going to allow you to get out of that stuck energy. But it's also, for some of you, this is a memory that's going to put a smile on your face, right? It could be a picture or a photograph. And maybe that's part of that flashback energy of maybe a memory popping up on your feed. So there's a message coming in for you, beautiful souls. You have divine guidance. This is angelic support, answered prayers. This is spiritual strength as well. And that's kind of what you have here with the horses. This is all about assistance. And you also have the word miracles. So some of you, this could be a miracle baby or a miracle situation where you didn't think it was possible. And then boom, you ended up getting that dream job, or you got that home that you didn't think you'd be able to get into, or, being able to connect with that relative that you thought it was a lost cause. Or for others of you, you were able to go through this challenge and come out on the other side. For some of you, this is a big health issue where maybe the doctors told you, or maybe someone told you, you can't recover from this, or you can't make a comeback. Maybe it has to do with your weight. Whatever it is here, I feel like you are either in the midst of going through this miraculous transformation, or for a lot of you, you have already undergone it. And this is really beautiful because I feel like if we all piled up our stories, we could write a book. Those chicken soup books, Chicken Soup for the Soul? I feel like we could do Chicken Soup for the Intuitive Soul Tribe, and it would be, very miraculous here. Now, we also have, in this order, how they came out here, we have singing and dancing. So different ways that we can work through some of this past life stuff that's going on. And it's interesting to note that Libra is currently in the South Node and Aries in the North Node until January of 2025. So when Libra is in the South Node on a collective and global level, that can be all about justice. And justice can be about karma. So it's about finding and bringing balance to whether it's past life situations, past life relationships. And when I say past life, it doesn't just have to mean, lifetimes before this one, but it could even be things that have happened here in this lifetime. For some of you, it has to do with forgiveness. You have be willing to forgive. This can be self-forgiveness. It can be forgiveness of others. When we play the blame game, or we tend to project when we are hurt, we tend to not be at our highest frequency, right? We tend to say things that we normally wouldn't say if we weren't in a place of blame, or in a place of shame, or, just the vibration of I'm not good enough, when we know on a deep soul level that that's not the truth, right? It says, ask the angels to clear your mind and body of past pain in exchange for peacefulness. Now, for some of you, they are highlighting body because the body keeps score. If you've never read that book or listened to that audiobook, you may want to check that out, because even on a, on a level of I forgot about that, or I've forgiven that person, it's not showing up. Sometimes the body keeps score and we feel a little bit disconnected at times, where why is this still showing up when I've forgiven that person or I've, released that? So some of you, the body is trying to get your attention at this time, because the body may still be carrying some sort of trapped emotions, trapped pain, or some triggers from prior lifetimes or this one. Now, yes, ask the angels to clear your body and mind. You can do this as well by working with an energy practitioner. You can do this by working with a trusted professional, a therapist, a coach, a mentor. You can even cut some cords as well. You have the cut the cords card, and it says, ask Archangel Michael to clear any old attachments to fear, false evidence appearing real is the acronym there, from relationships, freeing you from destructive patterns. And this was at the bottom of the deck here. And it's interesting because you also have twin flame and you have parents. And for those of you that are familiar with twin flame unions, you can never cut the cords. So you may have tried to cut cords here. Some of you, I do have to let you know that there is a false twin flame, someone that you thought was a twin flame, but I feel like it may have been a karmic relationship. Some of you could also be releasing karmic situations at this time to call in your twin flame. And I've been told by Spirit that this is something, especially between now and even the next 10 to 15 years, we are going to call in our twin flames more than we ever have in history, in mankind here on earth, because as we up level, as we raise our vibration and our frequency, we need more than ever to come together. And that's where that twin flame energy comes and helps us ascend. So I do feel for some of you, you may be cutting the cords from, we're just going to highlight parents. Okay, this could be breaking ancestral karma. Maybe you chose to be a part of a bloodline that were full of alcoholics. Maybe you chose to be a part of a bloodline, and some of you, I might lose you here and say, Melissa, why the hell would I choose to be a part of that, right? For our soul's growth, for our evolution, for us to learn maybe even karmic cycles and how to break them, how to release them, how to disengage so we don't have to keep coming and replaying that out. So for a lot of you, it does have to do with maybe your parents. Okay, I feel that some of you, this is where some limiting beliefs have set in, even if you had the best of best parents. Let's say that you had a father who was your biggest cheerleader and attended all your games. Maybe you were the child that played all the sports, but there could be some limiting beliefs that you're not good enough unless you get that trophy, unless you get that award, right? Unless you maintain some sort of status. And so either way, sometimes we build upon these beliefs, and the body, right? The body keeps score, and we tend to carry these into our relationships or the way that we raise our own children. And sometimes we even choose careers that can help us understand why certain things have happened. I also get, for some of you, I feel like your parents or one parent has crossed away and they want you to know to sing and dance. They want you to sing and dance. So some of you could have had, oh, this is interesting. Okay. So for some of you, you had a parent, this has never come up before, that let you walk on their feet. How do I explain that? So for example, you may have been a little and you may have put your feet on top of their feet and then they walked with you like that. Okay. I hope that makes sense. I'm also getting here, it's like holding the hands and swinging, almost the monkey swing. So for those of you that have either, maybe you've done that yourself with your own children, or perhaps you have a parent who's crossed over, I feel like that could be a message from them coming through for you. They may even want you to cut the cords from some sort of repetitive ancestral cycle or from some self-limiting beliefs. And I'm getting also self-sabotage. Some of you, and I think that card actually came out here. They don't want you to sabotage your success by getting in your own way or doing something that maybe they partook in. I feel like there's a release coming in here for you, and you actually have the release card. It says, work with Archangel Michael to let go of what no longer serves you or your purpose. If you're still watching this reading, it's because a lot of you are in the midst of big releases, right? Letting go of that job, that relationship, that addiction, that pattern, that habit, that home, that old you. This is big, right? It's in order for you to transform and really align that energy, ascend, not so much just align, but ascend, right? Because you're always aligned in a way. Even if it feels like you are struggling or going through the worst of worst, you are aligned with your soul's path. You really are. But when we truly ascend, that's when we know that we've grown or we've learned cycles or we've maximized our experience that we've chose to have here on earth. And that's what a lot of you are doing. A lot of you have really maximized it to a T, right? You've done it 15 million times and you're like, Melissa, I just don't want to do that anymore. I don't want to keep repeating the same cycle. I don't want to keep attracting the same job, the same relationship, or the same health issues or concerns. And that's what you're working on. Now, for those of you that are in a twin flame union, I just have to put this out there. If you're familiar with that or you know about it, there could be some messages coming in for you, especially in the next 10 days, or you may see something on a social media feed, or you yourself may have a memory or a flashback that comes in around a twin flame. Parents, let's see. Oh, actually, let's back it up here. It says the answer to your question involves a spiritually romantic based relationship. So for some of you, this could very well be a relationship that's tested your strength, right? And maybe some of you have said, well, Melissa, I've created memories with this person. I've created a life. I have children with them. We have a home together. We have mortgages. We have loans. How can we just say goodbye to that? Well, I say instead of just focusing on, the loss, what can you say hello to? And even though it's important to go through the grieving process and go through, communicating, and really it feels like at times divvying up your life, basically, what do you have to live for? For those of you that are wanting to part ways, for others of you, if you are going through a stressful situation with your partner, but you're not ready to give up and you're not wanting to give up, then perhaps you need to go back to remembering why you fell in love in the first place. Okay, because memories is showing up here. So perhaps even jogging up your, memory by looking at pictures of the both of you, maybe 10, 20, 40 years ago. I could be having a second honeymoon. For some of you, I'm getting that you have more than one ring. So what that means, two things. It could mean that this could be marriage number 2 for you, or marriage number 3 for others of you. Maybe you've upgraded your ring somewhere along the line, or maybe there was or is a second honeymoon coming in. All right, what else do we have here? Parents, the divine truth is that your parents eternally love you to the best of their ability. The angels are helping you heal from any pain associated with your mother or father. And I believe father is in this. Yep, here it is. We have a father's love over here from a different deck. So for some of you, this does have to do with a father wounding. Even if for some of you, like me, maybe you've never met your father in your life, there could still be some residual from lack of. And a lot of times you're being guided to look at that piece of it, right? It's not just the person who was there. It could be the person who was not. So some of you are healing from some deep parental wounding. Be willing to forgive especially if this is parents. Be willing to forgive them for what they did not know. Be willing to be grateful that you chose to be a part of this soul contract and soul tribe together, because it's not always easy here in, in the physical. It's easier when we're sitting around the old spiritual table on the other side saying, yeah, I want to come in and experience A, B, C, and D, right? But when we get here, it's a whole different story. So it says, ask the angels to clear your mind and body, of past pain. So for some of you, this goes deep. Some of you, your parents didn't trust you or didn't listen to you when you were trying to tell them important information about maybe something that had happened to you, or about a person, or when you were going through a difficult time, they may have been emotionally absent, physically absent. So I feel like there may be some forgiveness around there, around this energy. And maybe that forgiveness has to do with cutting some cords, right? Ask Archangel Michael to clear any of those past relationships or past pain that can free you from destructive patterns. And then lastly, you have singing and dancing, which I love, because this is something that can really shift us out of our head. And for those of you that tend to overthink things, this can really help you get out of your head and into your body. Just moving your hips a few minutes, dancing or singing in the car, in the shower, maybe dancing or swaying your hips while you are, making food, or dancing with your children or grandchildren. It says here, express yourself and awaken your psychic senses through the magical power of music and movement. I also sense here that some of you may have a random song that you hear in your head and you start to sing. And it may not even be a song that you've heard recently, or it's not a song that you've heard on the radio and you can't get it out of your head. I feel like this is something out of the blue. You're like, wow, I haven't heard that song in forever. And then it gets stuck in your head. If that's recently happened to you, drop it in the comment box below. Let me know what that song is, because there's so much symbology when that happens as well. It can be Spirit's way of downloading, especially if you connect with music. That can be Spirit's way of saying, listen to the lyrics. What do they mean for you? There could be some guidance. There could be some advice. There could be some deep-seated emotions connected or tied to that song. All right, from a new deck here, we have a father's love. For some of you, your father has crossed over. A father's love for his son or daughter never dies. The strength gained from such love is often unquantifiable, in that it can be tapped into at any time for whatever reason, whether your father is here or still has passed, because a father's love, it can certainly be one of the strongest bonds, right? It can be a strong bond. It can also be something that we can bring into our adult life, our adult light. Well, I keep saying that, light, adult light. So that's interesting. Some of you have a father that you're wondering maybe if he crossed into the light, or you may have even had a father that maybe you were the light. You were the light of my life, or you were my sunshine, because I keep saying here the light. So that's interesting. And look at that. You actually, for some of you, it's the lights. You may have lights that flicker. Okay. There could be a room that you walk into and it's like it gets bright, or maybe you walk outside and it's real dark in an area and then all of a sudden it's just boom, bright. That could be a sign of your father's love. Okay. So light. You have dream talk. This is important here because a lot of us, we get downloads and messages through dreams. I know I do. And this is something that is important because our subconscious, it constantly and subtly speaks through our dreams. But a lot of times as we navigate through our daily lives, we have, we're busy, we have work and we have family and household duties to keep up on. Sometimes we're not always, open, walking around with our crown chakras wide open, receiving divine guidance. I mean, unless you're like me, but I feel like even myself, I tend to reserve that for clients, for readings, because I don't want to be a wide open book grabbing onto every single thing. But sometimes it's difficult to do. But a lot of times you will get your messages through dreams. And I feel like some of you, I'm getting here auntie. Okay, auntie. Now, maybe some of you actually have an auntie that's visited through your dreams, or someone that was like an aunt to you, or it could be someone that's with an aunt. Okay, please take that as it resonates. But I feel like they are reaching out. Your ancestors, loved ones, spirit is reaching out and connecting with you through signs, symbols, messages, and more. So pay attention to your dream talk. And for those of you that are saying, Melissa, I don't remember my dreams, I get up. And even if you aren't quick to jolt out of bed, maybe you have a nice, delicious routine in the morning where you're able to, drink your tea or drink your coffee and maybe, read some sort of spiritual affirmation and you do your thing, right? But still, it could be difficult at times to remember your dreams. You may want to keep a journal next to your bed. You may want to work with some dream stones. Could even be moonstone. Sleep with it under your pillow. I'm also getting here a recording device. You could even just say a couple of words just real quickly into a recording device, and that can sometimes jog the memories of some dreams that come in, and they can all come flooding back in. So pay attention, because I feel like the guides are trying to get your attention here at this time, and that could be part of that message that I see coming in. I also get here Charlie. Charlie, I don't know if this is a dog, if this is a little brother, or if it's a dad, Charlie or Charles. Please take that as it resonates, but I get a good energy around this. You have memories showing up twice. Okay, not only is that part of your key themed cards here, you have it showing up from another deck. And again, past life, memories. It says your memories are like diamonds in the treasure chest of your spirit. More and more memories are arising within you. Yeah, that's what we talked about in the beginning, because it's time for you to remember the happier moments with your loved ones who are here in the spirit world. For neither time nor distance can stop the energy of love that you have for another. Especially if you're going through, loss. Maybe this is a first holiday without someone. For those of you that celebrate holidays, or the first year, I'm getting the first. So for some of you, this is fresh. For others of you, you've been widowed, and maybe it still feels like, when it first happened. But remember, neither time nor distance can separate you. It's part of that energetic cord that you will always have with your loved ones, and you will see them again. I also get someone lighting a candle. So there could have been some sort of candle vigil, or a candle lit vigil here. Someone may have lit a candle in maybe ceremony as well, or perhaps you have a candle next to a photograph or picture of a loved one. Next, you have cleanse. Yeah, some of you are in the need of a deep cleanse. And oh gosh, they just gave me urn. Okay, so someone may have been cremated. Now gosh, this doesn't come up often. And I feel like I'm scattering here. I feel like their ashes are being scattered, and it could be water, it could be mountains, but I'm getting it's okay to scatter me where I belong. So that could resonate for some of you. It means that either you knew where their favorite place was, or you've contemplated scattering some ashes, or you've been waiting for the time to do so. If that resonates with you, there is something here with being able to release, and that you do have that word release here, especially if that is a parent. Okay, your body, mind, and soul are urging you to take some time out for some much needed cleansing. Just as you wash your car, right? Clean your house or tidy your office, your body also needs care and attention. It's time for spiritual, emotional, and physical cleansing. So it's really important that you focus on taking some time out to take care of you, your needs. Whether it's taking a nice hot Epsom salt bath, it could be eating healthier foods, resting, taking a nap, letting the dishes sink so you can just relax, put your feet up for a bit. It's not lazy to do that. You must listen to your body here. I also get some of you are going to get a wild hair up your you-know-what, and you might get really organized. For those of you who've ever been pregnant, there's a period of nesting. I almost get that energy of nesting for you, where you might start going through cupboards and organizing, or you might start cleaning, or you might tackle that room that you haven't touched for 10 years. I feel like there's going to be some organization that really shows up, and that could also be a sign that you're going through some deep organizational shifting within you as well. Here's the card of self-sabotage, and we also have forgiveness coming up again. So you are getting a lot of the same energy. So I think this is a really great time for you to maybe work on that Ho'oponopono prayer, the Hawaiian prayer. If you're not familiar with that, look that up. I think it's I love you, I forgive you, or please forgive me, thank you. I forget what it is. Someone commented. I'd love to hear it in the comment section below. I think I have it on my Facebook page as well. But it's important for us to not hang on to things that no longer serve us, especially when it comes to you not forgiving you. And that's a big thing. You can see here that we can take this into two different ways. This could be forgiving yourself for not knowing how to maybe parent a child. For some of you, this is about you and your children. For others, it's your own mother or your own parents not knowing how to maybe mother you or nurture you. I also get here that this is you loving that inner child within, right? How can you honor him or her? How can you help him or her feel loved? Because it is our responsibility to heal from our own pain. Okay, I'm going to repeat that. It is our responsibility as an individual, as a soul, to heal, even though situations may have been thrust upon us that were unfair. Maybe they were definitely, unfair. It wasn't right. It didn't feel like, anyone was in your corner. Some of you may have even felt trapped to that victim mentality at times. And maybe you didn't even know any better. And it doesn't mean that what happened to you is okay if we forgive, but it means that we've come to some sort of acceptance that we don't have to let this situation define us, lower our frequency, our vibration. We don't have to let it simmer and create dis-ease in the body. Now, if you don't have anyone to forgive, you're doing pretty darn good, okay? Because a lot of people hold on to bitterness and resentment on a subconscious level that manifests in the body. Holding on to resentment and anger can prevent or even suffocate spiritual growth. Resentment is one of the strongest and most damaging of human emotions. The act of forgiveness in its own right is equally incredibly powerful, and it has the capacity to heal and transform. Okay, heal and transform. This doesn't just have to be a person. This can be, like I said, it can be yourself. Well, you are a person, but it could be a situation where you didn't know any better. Maybe you continued to stay at that job that caused you a lot of stress and tension. And, maybe there was a physical symptom that came out of it. And you're thinking, how could I have done that to myself? I'm so stupid, or I'm so not good enough. Let's not degrade, right? Let's not point fingers. Let's try to learn, grow, evolve, forgive, and do better next time. The only person you should be competing with, right, is, who you were yesterday, if you're going to be in competition at all. And I feel like forgiveness is necessary. Some of you, that could be part of the message coming in within the next 10 days, is someone could even be sending you an apology. Okay. If this is not you, someone may be holding some bitter anger, resentment towards you as well. And maybe that it's about them forgiving, not for you, because we don't forgive other people for them, right? Even though it can sometimes feel like a sense of closure, when we can realize and accept whether we get a forgiveness or not, or an apology or not, that we still can gain that closure, that makes all the difference. And then lastly here, we do have self-sabotage. And this is funny because I feel like this is someone's father or someone's grandfather coming in here saying, get out of your own way, right? It says, when you learn to get out of your own way, there will be no stopping you. Most of the time, it's not others who prevent you from achieving your true goals. It's that inner voice that derails those carefully woven plans, right? It can be our own voice, our own inner critic. When we can start to view that inner voice as an observer, as a bystander, right? As a third party, know that that inner critic of yours, it's based on conditioning. It's based on, everything you've experienced from the moment you were born to this moment in time. It's not your true essence, right? It's not who you are. It's not what you're made of. And when you start to observe the self-talk, or you start to observe your thoughts, you're able to kind of watch them pass by. It's almost like a projection screen where you see the credits possibly, or like the end of a movie, you start to see the credits at the end. I know a lot of times they don't even play those for too long anymore, but I remember a long time ago, you'd watch the end of a movie and those credits would just roll and roll and roll, but they'd go off the screen. So for some of you, when you can start to observe, your thoughts and your patterns and that mental talk, the words that you tell yourself, the way you treat other people as well can reflect on how you treat yourself. So when you start to observe, notice, and recognize any self-sabotaging behaviors, tendencies, or blocks that show up that could even stem from past life or this lifetime, doesn't matter really where they come from. It just matters that we take note, we observe, so we can work on releasing it. We can, now that we know better, we can do better. And that's what we're being guided to do at this time. So that is your collective reading. Again, a lot of past life clearing, past life issues being resolved at this time. For those of you who've definitely been through the ringer, know that there's going to be ease. It's easing up here for you. I see more peace. I see more solace, but a lot of deep healing as well, knowing that we are on the path. A lot of you have already been in that deep healing cycle and phase. Now we're moving into phase 3, if you will, of more abundance, more unconditional love, and relationships that are heart-centered, heart-focused, with the underlinement of spiritual connection as well. That's such a big piece of it as well. Instead of just surface, instead of it being on, I married this person because because they could provide, or I married this person because it looked like it would be the best fit, or whatever, or because that person was super attractive, or getting together with a person based on superficial reasons. That's going to be something of the past. And a lot of you are inviting in new soul tribe, new people, new relationships, new jobs that aren't just superficial. They are meaningful. They are spiritual. They are abundant, because you are raising your vibration. You are ascending, and you're going to attract experiences that align and match with that vibration. That is what I have for you, beautiful souls. I hope it resonated. If so, please feel free to hit that thumbs up button. It certainly helps get the divine channeled messages out there to those that need it most. And it certainly helps the growth of the channel, which I greatly appreciate. Thank you so much for being here today. If you haven't already hit that subscribe and bell button, please do so. Lots of love.